Hello everyone and welcome to Transport Fever 2. This game has been out for a while now, since I believe 2019. I just picked it up in a Steam sale and excited to give it a go. I've done a tutorial just a little bit to get familiar with it, but we are going to do free game, which is basically no set goals other than to make stuff as big as we can. So I'm going to do a tropical playthrough, medium map, 1:2 format, which just makes it longer. Towns and industries will have medium, and then I've adjusted these accordingly. I've turned down the hilliness, forest, and turned islands to 0. My starting seed is chicken, because chickens are awesome. And then on the settings, we are doing the USA. Start year of 1850. Easy, because that's how I do it. And industry closure set to never. So let's give it a go. Okay, and welcome to the map. I have renamed all my cities after places in Florida. We have Jacksonville up top here. We have Tallahassee over here, our state capital. Then we have Tampa on the west coast here. We have Daytona Beach over here, followed by Orlando in Central Florida. And then we have the Everglades over here. Not technically a city, but it needed representation on the map. And then we have Miami and West Palm over here. So now basically the way the game works is you make money by delivering stuff. We'll use Jacksonville as an example up here. Jacksonville has 2 requests right now. It has food and fuel as requested. So food we can be made at right here at this food processing plant. It needs grain shipped in and turns it into food. And there's a grain farm right here. So we'll get money by delivering food, by delivering grain to the food factory, and we'll make money by delivering food to the Jacksonville. So in the beginning of the game, all we have really access to is horse-drawn carriages. I don't think we could really afford a train line at this point. So I'm going to find similar situations like this where there's a quick, easy production chain we can set up and make some money incoming so we have some money to work with to start working on trains. So like down here in Daytona Beach, I saw that there was a stone factory, stone quarry, into a brick factory, and this is requesting bricks, so that could be a nice little deliver from here to here, make money, turn around, deliver to here, make money. So then they'd have to go back, which would not get paid for, but not too bad. And it's a relatively short distance. And the other one I saw was down here. Both West Palm and Everglades are requesting food. And there's a food place right here in the middle of grain and food factory. So we could probably make food here and then deliver it both directions. So let's get food delivered to Jacksonville. I've put down 2 truck stops. One here by the farm, one here by the grain food processing plant, and I put a truck stop here in the city. And I created lines. So basically just by pointing and clicking, I added a line from, you can see the red one is from Jacksonville to the city, and one is from food to the food processing plant. So let's put some vehicles on those so we can start making some money. So let's put down a road depot real quick. That's how we get vehicles on the line. And purchase some horse-drawn carriages. So right now this is our 2 choices, horse-drawn carriage or American horse-drawn carriage. The difference is this one carries people, this one carries cargo. So let's start with, I don't know, 5 of them for $120,000. Buy them and stick them on, let's see, grain to food first. So let's come check them out real quick. Our first horse-drawn carriages of the game. Here they go. They're off to the farm here, and see if now if grain is starting to show up, because there's finally a line set up between here and there with vehicles on it. Food won't show up until that is the case. So now I'm going to do the same thing for this to the city. So the food line to Jacksonville is set up. We have a truck stop here. Truck station, I should say. Attached to this farm here. You can see it highlights when you click on it. So that is collecting grain. These little horse and buggy guys are going to come collect it. Go guys, go. Okay, so he's got a load full of grain. He's going to take that over to the food processing plant. These guys are going to... This one is attached to here, so they will deliver grain to here. The grain will be fed into the food processing plant, which will in turn be put on food on the platform number 2 here, I believe. You can tell here, you can select what terminal it is. So food to the city is terminal 1 actually, so it's this one here. So let's go see what Jacksonville is requesting. It's requesting 78 food at the moment. So 78 food. You can see right here it requires 2 grain to 1 food. So that means we need roughly 150 grain to produce 78 food. So if we click on the line here, we can see, let's see, so this one is grain to the food. So it's got a rate of 42. So we need this rate to be 150. So we'll just add more vehicles to the line to get this up to 150. And then food to the city here, the red line here, you can see it's highlighted, needs to be 78 basically. So we only need to add a couple more vehicles to this to get that rate up there. So we'll fine tune that real quick, and then we'll move on, and I'll do the same setup down in Daytona here for the bricks, and as well as Orlando for the... Actually, won't even go to Orlando. It'll be these 2 here, which I think I can actually... They're so close together that you can put a truck stop in the middle, and you won't even need vehicles. You can see how they're both highlighted, so that'll work out nicely there. So all I need is vehicles traveling from this truck stop to the cities. Okay, so let's get the grain to food processing plant set up correctly. We can see right here there's a rate of currently of 43, so if we just hit manage vehicles, I have them all selected right now. I'm going to clone them. It automatically purchases them and puts them at the depot, and they'll go on to the new route automatically, I believe. But that brought our rate up to 86. We need, I believe, what did I say, 150, so it's really going to be almost 160 with food demand being 80 at the city. That would be 160. So I guess let's duplicate them all one more time. There we go, rate of 172, so a little bit higher, so we can probably get rid of one of these. $163, close enough. So I'll go through and do that for the other line, and then set up those other delivery plants, and that should bring us a steady income. We can click down here in the bottom right corner and currently see that we're already making money. The grain to food line is making 31,000, and the food to the city is making only 7,000. I just added a whole bunch of vehicles to those lines, so it will go up pretty quickly here once we get these rates figured out. Here come all our new vehicles that we just cloned. They didn't come up before because I had the game paused. And just a real quick note, I did set the game speed to half down here. just because I play kind of slow, so that's just the way it is. And it seems kind of counterintuitive, but I have work speed 2, even though the game's set to half speed, so we'll make money a little bit faster that way, I think. Not quite sure how those mechanics work, but I know it slows down time even though the game is sped up. So those guys are going to get to work, and then we will set up those other lines. Okay, so I got 3 of those set up at least. I have the Jacksonville one ironed out to the right to the point where it actually is requesting more goods already. You can see up here it's now requesting bricks and goods as well, because we met the demand of food, I guess. So that's good news there. We can check our lines here real quick, make sure we're making money on everything, which everything is in the blue, nothing's losing money. Looks like the Daytona route is making the most money, which we will go check out next. That route is expected to make the most because it is taking stone from here up to here, delivering it, making bricks out of it, immediately taking a brick from the pile and delivering it to here, so it's getting paid almost in its entirety, where most of the trucks don't get paid on return journey because they're not delivering anything. So this one, the only time it doesn't get paid is from here to here. So nice and profitable. And then I've got a food one. I could not get the truck stop to work. It wasn't transferring stuff from here to here, even though it was in both areas of catchment. So I had to put a short route in here just to deliver. I'm sure there's a way to do it, but I'm just not experienced enough to figure it out. But anyway, it's delivering grain to the food real here at a pretty high rate. 165, which means this can make 80 food. There's a stockpile of food sitting there, because it is a long journey. I have 40 vehicles on this right now. And it is making, let's see what it's in 40 vehicles is doing. Let's see, that's Palm Food to City. That is a rate of 97, so that's a pretty good rate. It's probably higher than what it's requesting. It's only requesting 87, so I guess as you supply food to the city, it will demand more because the population will increase. You can see we have 250 residents here. It is going to grow to 273 at the current rate that we're supplying goods. So next up is to expand this production area over to the Everglades and get food delivered over there. Should be not too hard, but it is going to be expensive because we're going to have to lay a road from here all the way to here. Now to start the game, if we click in the bottom left corner here, you can see we're given our budget. We start off with a $5 million loan. We can borrow up to another 5 for a total of 10 million. But you cannot borrow more than 10 million, and then we pay interest on it looks like every couple months here. So we just got to keep an eye on that. That's why we're checking our finances real quick here, make sure that everything's making money, which it is. So that's good news there. So I can borrow more if I run out of money laying this road down, because it's going to be super expensive. Okay, so that's done. Got a nice long road coming over to Everglades here from the food factory. Now this is getting a little busy in here. So I had to mess around with the terminals, the truck stations a little bit. So that I basically created one-way entrances and exits, so they're forced to take a loop around here. Kind of minimize. Basically they're always taking a right-hand turn. And here they come and pick up here and go right back out. So this seems to have helped traffic in here a little bit, because this is going to be high demand area, although it will be replaced with trains pretty soon, so I probably fiddled with it longer than I needed to, but it's working, so we'll leave it be. So next up I think is going to be, the challenge on this map is going to be there's not a lot of space. There's basically industries everywhere. So I'm going to run a train line up the east coast and up the west coast. But I think those tracks are going to get super busy because there's going to be a lot of industries using them. And I can't lay track anywhere without hitting an industry, so kind of regretting the map setup a little bit, but I guess we'll just see how far we can take it. So I think I'm going to do is do a passenger service from Daytona to West Palm down to Miami. That should make some good money that way. And then we can start tying in some of these industries into that track and deliver. Maybe start with bricks up here and have stone and bricks delivered, because bricks are required here. And my guess is pretty soon probably down here. I'm not sure. But there's another brick factory here, so we could also tie and make it a brick line coming up this way. So I think that's what we'll work on next. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to repay as much loan as I can. Can always borrow it back. Let it run for a minute or two, see if these lines are making any money. This line I just put in, which is why it's losing money. But let it run for a minute or two, and then we can always reborrow the money when we need it. But I'm going to basically save up and put down train station here, train station here, train station here. Alright, so let's start with the train stations. I feel like Daytona here would be nice to come through here and down this way. Maybe eventually we can part off and go over to Orlando and come down this way to go to West Palm. So we're going to have to delete some roads for this. That's why the game's paused. So let's bulldoze this. Broke some routes, so we'll fix those in a minute. But basically a train station, we'll just do passenger station for now. I guess somewhere in here would be good. This needs attached by. I notice this terminal here is passenger, so this kind of threw me for the beginning. Cargo cannot be delivered here, only people can be delivered here. If you want cargo delivered, you have to add another track and another cargo platform, I believe. If I'm incorrect on that, someone please tell me in the comments, but that's the way I perceive it. I feel like West Palm, the line's going to come down here and just skim through these farms down here, so something at that angle would be good. Something like that. Same thing, this will need to be attached by road, but I just want to get the placement down for now. And there is Daytona set up for now. I was just messing around with the layout of it for a little bit here to see how it works. But basically I'm planning on 2 passenger rail lines. One here, and 2 cargo train lines, one here. Each one handled. This one will be traveling south, this one will be traveling north. Okay, so this is attached to the road, which is attached to the bus stop. Bus stop here has a route that goes around the city, picking up passengers, delivering them to wherever they want to go, whether it be from street 2 to 4, stop 2 to 4, or if they're coming over to the train station. So that route will make a little bit of money, hopefully. But so that's good to go. We have 4 horse-drawn carriages coming out of the road depot here for carrying our first set of passengers around. Have fun, guys. So that's Daytona setup. Let's go do something similar down at West Palm here. Station's right here, so I think a line coming right through here would be good. That way we can sneak around these things here and pass by this farm here. So let's get that set up. Okay, West Palm station is in, complete with a bus loop around the city as well. It actually covers the whole city, even though it doesn't really look like it. And I also put in a station at Miami down here. This one is actually an end station, so it's not a pass-through. So a little bit different. The terminal's down here at the end, which connects to the road here. And a bus stop here. So next up really is to put the track in, and then see if we have enough money to buy a train to get some passengers going. I've been borrowing as we go here, so I'm up to I've taken out 2.5 million already just to get these stations in, so But we should be able to get the track in and then hopefully have enough left over to buy a train. I think a train's going to be a little over 2 million, so we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I've got all the track in. It runs from Daytona up here, down this line here, West Palm all the way to Miami. Zoom in a little bit so you can see it. So it comes from Daytona all the way down here, stops at West Palm, goes past these farms, and into Miami. Now the line itself is set up so that it goes from Daytona to West Palm to Miami, back to West Palm, so it makes 2 stops at West Palm. You can see that in the description here. It goes Daytona, West Palm, Miami, West Palm. So that way it stops both directions. All we need to do now is come into our train depot that I put in right here. And first we're going to have to borrow some money. I think it's going to be about 2 million. $2.4 million, I guess. We'll try to see if that's enough. Buy a vehicle. So we only have 2 choices on locomotives right now. I guess we'll go with the more expensive one. Has a lot more tractive effort than the Baldwin, so we'll go with the General for now. And then passenger wagons, we have only 1 choice, so I guess we'll just add as many as we can. So 4 of them equals $2.1 million, so I guess let's go ahead and give that a try. So all I gotta do is assign it a route now. And our first train should be coming out of the... There she is. So it's choosing to go down that way first. I'm not sure why, but either way is fine, I guess. So we're going to let that run. It's going to take a minute to pick up passengers. Passengers should be arriving at the stations now that there is a train on the route. Nobody there yet, but it's going to take them a minute to ride the bus and get over here. So let's let that run for a little bit. Hopefully that makes some profit, because right now we are currently borrowing $4.5 million. But most of our lines are making money except for the train line, obviously, and the bus loops, but the bus loop should come around now that the train line is operational. So hopefully we can make the passenger line make a lot more money, because right now money is just trickling in slowly with these lines currently. So our train here is headed to Daytona for the first time. Let's go check it out real quick and see if there's anybody at the station right now. There's only 9 people on board. But up here it looks like there's quite a few people at the station. See quite a few people. You can see them all the way down there. If we click on the station here, there's 59 people at the station. Wow, that's more than a train load. So some people are going to have to wait. And then I noticed over here at the bus stop, our bus demand has become pretty crazy. I mean, look at all these people waiting for the bus. Look at them all. 56 people waiting for the bus. And the bus only carries 4 people at a time, so they're going to be waiting 12, 13 bus loads of people here. So we're definitely going to have to add more buses to the route too. I think I only have 3 or 4 on the bus route right now. So we're going to have to add some more to that, but I think that demand is basically created from the passenger travel. So that line should become really profitable once we fill up that train. And you can see now Daytona here has destinations available, so the town's going to start growing again because we have travel available to the passengers. So good stuff. So down at West Palm here, the in-between station it stops at twice, we need to make some adjustments to the terminal, because right now, for some reason, For some reason the game thinks this is two different terminals, 2 and 3 for some reason. I'm not sure why, but maybe a reboot will fix that. We'll see. Or maybe it's something I've done, that I've laid out something incorrectly that made this think it's 2 terminals. Not really sure. But the bus loop, or the train route that goes through here, needs to, when it's going north, it needs to be coming, let's see, it needs to be coming this lane. And when it's going south, it needs to be going on this lane. So if we manage the line, we can see right now it's going both directions here. See, it merges into both the same track here, even though this track is available. So let's see, from Daytona to Miami, it needs to be on track 1. So let's change this to track 1 and see what it does. There we go. So now it looks like it should. It stays on the side of the track, comes down, then it'll only switch back when it gets down to Miami. It'll switch back down to, see, Miami, it joins the right side of the track because it needs to switch tracks because it's the end of the route. So that's good there. And there's lots of people at this bus station, so let's fix that real quick. 30 people at this bus station. We'll just double the vehicles on the route. So that puts 6 vehicles on the route instead of 3, so that should hopefully speed that up. And I think we'll have the same problem in Miami with the bus stop, so we'll have to just, yeah, we got 31 people at that bus stop as well, so let's just double up on the vehicles on this one as well. And then I think we're going to add another train to the route because it looks like it's going to be pretty profitable and pretty high in demand. It's still losing money right now, but it just started running, so I think we're going to add, I think we can support another train, so I'm going to borrow another 2 million. And see if we can, I should just be able to clone that train as well, actually. That'll give me a chance to see if the double tracks are working or not. There you go, so I'm basically officially broke almost. I've pretty much borrowed, I still have a couple million I can borrow yet, so we still have a little bit of room to go. But we'll just observe this for a little bit here and make sure that the 2 trains can handle that I have it signaled correctly and that it's going to handle the directions correctly. So keep an eye on it and we'll make sure it does what it's supposed to do. Okay, so we got a couple problems to work through. If we click on West Palm here, we can see that they are a little unhappy with my stations, and that's because there's quite a few people sitting around waiting for these buses. A lot of people waiting for the bus. So we'll have to address that, as well as we could deliver double the amount of food we're delivering right now. There's only delivering 51 of the 106 they're asking for. And that's because the grain farm over here is maxed out. It can produce up to 200, which we are taking and shipping up to food factory here, which is turning into 100 food, which is being split between the 2 towns. So in order to make more food, we'll have to find grain from somewhere else. That'll be what we'll work on next episode, probably with along with creating a train line that comes through here, and probably pick up some of the grain from up here and deliver it down to the food factory. But that'll do it for this episode. Thanks for watching.